Fantastic. Yo, so listen, man. You can agree or disagree, okay? But depending on what kind of drink you order in a restaurant, you might get labeled. You might get stereotyped. It's the truth. For example, if you're a dude and you order an espresso martini or a lemon drop, you're a pansy. If you're a chick and you do the same thing, especially today, you're basic. If you're ordering extremely expensive shots of liquor, you're stupid and you're trying to flex. And if you're ordering something like a vodka Red Bull, puppy, you are 2 bathroom trips away from being a drug addict. It's the truth. So now here's the thing. On one hand, I say to myself, if you're paying for your drink and you like your drink, have it. Forget all the noise. But on the other end, I say to myself, listen, if you can slightly identify with any of those stereotypes, you've got some room for personal growth. So like if you're a pansy, you might have to like call your dad or something and, you know, get back in touch and deal with some emotional issues. If you're basic, then listen, there's a ton of delicious things out there that you can try. You just got to be open-minded, be risky, try something. Why do I think, you know, you might be an idiot? Because those expensive liquors are complex. They were designed to savor and drink slowly, you know, to evolve in your mouth and give you a lasting experience. So that's how you should try them. And listen, you vodka Red Bullers, I get it. It's Miami. Enjoy yourself. But dude, I'm sure your skin could be a little bit more clear and you probably haven't had a good night to sleep in like a month and a half, right? So all that being said, if you enjoy it, do it, drink up, and salute. Adrian, start it up.
Welcome to the Fancy Bear Podcast, where we talk all things restaurants. I'm one of your hosts, Adrian.
I'm your other host, Ed.
And today, continuing our series of why restaurants are so expensive, we're diving into alcohol. And for that, we have brought 2 gentlemen over here who have been working in the industry for quite a while.
2 handsome gentlemen.
Beautiful gentlemen.
Absolutely. As customary, gentlemen, let us know how long you've been in the industry, where did you start it, and where you are currently at.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Will Thompson. I have been blessing this industry for 24 years. It's my Ken Griffey year, baby.
You know what would have been crazy? If you had said 27 years.
I hate that place.
Yo, come on, bro. Continue.
I mean, I love that place.
Go
that
ahead,
place is
continue.
one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Right.
Right, it's my kids in that place. So I've been, I'm an alumni of the best bartenders on the face of this planet, TGI Fridays. My first in the biz job at the age of 15. Never bartended there, but they still fuck. I was a bar back, a busser, the dishwasher, host. Nothing that made money is what I did there.
Basically.
Right? For years in the service industry. Went to the Air Force, came back and was like, man, you know what I really like? Being in the industry, apparently.
Right.
Apparently.
It dug its claws into you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You like that suffering?
I was drafted by PF Chang's, right? Unsigned draft. They found me at a local Starbucks, believe it or not.
Right. I do believe it.
Had my man, John. I don't forgot your last name, man, but whatever. So John came through.
Right.
He saw me behind the bar. He saw me doing my thing. He said I was upselling him. I had no idea what I was doing, honestly. I just knew I was making drinks fast for all the viejas that are coming, picking up their kids from school and shit. And he was like, hey, do you want to you want to be a bartender? I said, I don't have my bartending license. And he looked at me and said, yep, you'll do.
Exactly.
That guy right there, you're dumb enough. Let's go.
Yeah.
So he picked it up, you know, they put me on, they trained me, and, you know, I've been lucky enough to now take all those skills and talents that they instilled in me, taking it to one of the best bars in the world. You know, I was on that top 50 list, one of the spots I worked at. You know, some of the dopest spots in Miami, the Shaker, Ball and Chain, and now Better Days. I'm the operating partner, which means I do everything. There you go.
Mike?
Hello. My name is Michael Yoder. I have been, let me think about, I started the hospitality industry when I was in college. I was living in Providence, Rhode Island. I remember I took a job as a bell captain at a Marriott. believe it or not. I was a bell captain. I wear that fucked
You
up hat.
with your sparkling personality.
Oh my goodness, it was amazing. There was a lot of extracurricular activities that went along with that. But,
Yeah, I bet.
and, so I got in there, and then I remember a friend of mine had a job at the Westin. He was actually a banquet server, and he's like, Mike, we're making money, and I was like, let's see what happens. So I went over there, got the job. I started doing that, and I befriended our beverage director for banquets, and he was like some old school mafia Italian dude. And he's like, Mike, I got a bartending school. Come get your license. He's like, even if you fail, you'll get your license. Long story short, I was just like,
Wait. Say that one more time.
It was a guy I knew who.
Even if you fail, you'll get your license?
Yeah.
Miami,
So
baby.
basically, he just said, I just need you to show up, hang out for a couple. He's like, you can. He's like, I don't. Basically,
Yeah.
he took a liking to me, and he's like, look,
Right.
he's like, there's more money in the bartending side of things. He's like, come see me. You got the personality for it. He's like, enough of this banquet serving bullshit. This is for the birds. He's like, come on this side. And then he's like, just come. He's like, I'll get you your license. He's like, even if you don't come to class, show up for the test, I'll pass you. Whatever it was, he's like,
Yo,
you
what
get your
bartending
license.
school is this, bro?
I can't tell you.
All of them.
Rest his soul.
What
He's
bartending
dead.
school is this?
All of them.
Does
My
it
man.
have 3 letters?
All of them.
Does it rhyme with A, B, C?
It's very similar, but he was, like I said, he was a Providence, Rhode Island Federal Hill guy, and he made me. I got my license. I had my license in a week, and
So
then
so you heard it here. If you really want to succeed in the bartending world, get your bartending license.
not at all. That shit is worthless.
No, but that's true though, because it's like, it's almost like nowadays if you go to a bartending interview and
And
you're
you
like,
tell me I have your
and the
license,
first thing
I
you
say,
is-
and
you're so proud to say, "Oh, I got my bartending license." It's like, get out of here, you fucking
Yeah.
geek.
that
You know what I'm
automatically,
saying?
yeah, for me, tell
You're
me
a
if
snitch.
you
Get
hear
outta
that
here.
automatically, I'm like, oh, next.
Oh man, it's just I feel sadness. I feel
Yeah.
bad for them because the hope. Have you seen their beautiful
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bright young faces? Like I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you. I can make money now.
Right.
Oof.
Like, bro, you
And
don't
they
even
really think that is,
Oof.
and they really, and that the fucked up thing is like,
No one's traumatized you yet.
yeah, they really feel
Right.
as though that's their ticket.
get out of here, bro. You don't even
Yeah.
have HPV yet. Get out of here, right?
They really feel like that's their ticket. I have my bartender's license. And I'm like,
Right.
how many bars you work?
No experience.
Exactly.
No experience.
You gotta
None.
get down and dirty, baby. That's the only way to grow.
It's like
in this
culinary
industry.
school. It's the same thing.
They want to know how many
Yeah,
jobs you've
same thing.
been,
You know,
how
change
long
a
you've been
keg.
there. That's
Yeah.
what matters,
That's
really.
a keg.
Right,
We didn't
right,
have
right.
kegs in bartending school. We had liquor.
So I took that job, and then he actually, the same guy, he pushed me in another direction to a fine dining Italian restaurant. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
And then, so I went in there, and the general manager took a liking to me. He was like, let me see, do the service, the serving, because I had the serving down. He's like, I'll start to rotate you in. And then he started rotating. Then one day he left me there by myself doing a lunch. And it was,
Were you nervous?
I shipped the bed.
You were nervous, weren't you?
I had like 15 drinks I never heard of.
You were nervous.
I was looking, and I was just trying to fake it till I make
Do you
it.
remember what some of those drinks were?
Yeah, I remember a Cosmopolitan.
You were like,
And I remember I threw fucking apple pucker in it. So you couldn't even fake. You know how you can fake it till you make it with a lot of, like, one thing you learn in bartending is like, if it's the right color, fuck it, push it out. If it's the right color, fuck it, push it out. Like this times I fucked up a drink. I'm like, I'm supposed to have one of
It
these.
looks good.
Throw some cranberry juice. It's red now. Okay, gone. And then I gave this to a lady, and she looked at it, and it was green. She's like, what the fuck is this? She said that to me. She said,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? And I was like, ma'am, Cosmopolitan, so confidently.
yeah.
And she said, in what country?
I mean, you had just gotten your bartending license.
I
And
know,
you knew
I
what
was-
you was doing.
Yeah, it was
You had
just-
your ticket.
it was- it
Do you
was
want me to
bad.
show you my
That was
license,
bad.
miss?
That was
right
one of
here.
the- that was the day where I was really humbled.
Right.
And it wasn't even really busy. It was just the
Yeah.
mechanics of things.
Right.
And just your, how do I say, just knowing my way. And I had to take tables beyond the bar as well. I was the only one there. It was like, because lunches were relatively slow.
Right.
And we get a couple of the corporate people, and it was actually the same. And I think I was nervous also because at the time, that same day, Buddy Cianci, who was the mayor of Providence, was sitting there as well. So I had a lot,
Going on.
Yeah, on my shoulders, and you had to tend to him very specifically. Go over. He always wanted something off, man. You did that, so now. And then I have like 10, like I said, 10 customers, but
That's a lot.
I shit
That's
the
a lot
bed.
even
Sounds
when
like
you
a
don't.
regular day in the
You
industry,
remember-
my friend.
you remember your
First day,
first-
go get some tables.
You remember your
But
first
Yeah.
bartending shift, Will?
Where you currently at? Where you currently at now? Like, what are you doing now? You still bartending? You
still,
bar manager? What's up?
Yeah, currently, I'm a bar lead and a bar manager
Thank you.
for the same establishment.
Okay.
All right.
And I help out on the corporate side with training.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you for sharing that. Now, gentlemen, we want to answer that age-old question. Why alcohol in restaurants is so expensive? Because you go to Total Wine today. Bottle of Grey Goose, $20 plus tax. You go to a club, you ask for a Grey Goose and cranberry, $25 plus tax. Same thing with a beer. You buy a 12-pack bottle Stella, $16 plus tax. And you go to a bar, $8 plus tax. Why? Why is alcohol so expensive in restaurants?
I believe that without the alcohol, the hospitality industry does no longer exist. So it's the blood that pumps through the veins. It's the gold. You know, it's like you take the universe, the world we live in, you know, there's certain metals that are more expensive. There's certain things that are valuable. This is our diamond, if you will. Because think about it. Remove alcohol from hospitality or our industry. What are we left with?
Yeah, you're like Neil deGrasse Tyson and the Goodfellas, like combined, bro. Where you came from, man?
I'm just, you look at it, but really look at it. Think about it.
You hear this shit?
I love it.
It's what keeps it. It's what
Will,
keeps.
you want to jump in on that?
pushing.
Just give me a quick answer.
It's easy. It's easy. Miami doesn't like poor people. That's it.
That's fucking true.
I don't want you poors here hanging out with me. It's expensive because there's so many other factors than just the juice in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. It's a $25 bottle of Grey Goose. Where also I want to know where that bottle is.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey,
What he said, $25.
Where you get that?
Total Wine.
I gotta go to Total Wine.
Yeah,
Shout out
there's no
Total
way
Wine,
that's
baby.
There's no way that's a liter.
That's crazy. That's
Okay,
No,
whatever.
it's 750. It's not a liter.
Still, that's still amazing.
A 750 for $50, 50, $60.
Right, but you go to you go into a club or whatever,
Well,
right?
That same 750
to give
$500.
There's a lot more that goes into that.
Well, as you can tell, this episode is going to be nice and raw. I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty. But the
nitty-gritty.
educated answer is overhead. Because when you're paying for alcohol, you're not only paying for that drink, you're paying for wages, you're paying for the establishment, you're paying for a whole lot of other things. And because those fluctuate with time, so does the price of that drink. And also how, like Mike said here, the alcohol is where the restaurant does make the money. And when a restaurant makes money, they need to pay a whole lot of people before you make any money out of it. Usually a restaurant makes, which is the worst profit margin in any business out there, it's on average 10 to 15. That's a profit margin for a establishment. And where the restaurant or a bar makes the money, it's in the alcohol. Any place, even clubs, you might think the door, nah, alcohol. That's where the money's at. And if we didn't serve that or charge what we charge for those things, simply the restaurant or the club or the bar would cease to be. So if you like your place, that's that.
Stay
But
thirsty.
we're going to try to break it down into different categories and talk about them, right? And the first one is, where do bars and restaurants get their alcohol? Because it's not like they go to Total Wine and they buy those. They actually have to get those from vendors, right? And who are these guys? How do you get to them? Or how do they get to you? And how does the whole thing work?
Yo, I'm sorry, man, but every time I see like liquor rep come into the restaurant, and I know that you have a different perspective, you might even, develop some relationships and rapport with these people. I hate all of them, bro.
I'm gonna tell you.
I always feel like they're in the way. They're
yeah.
awkward. They're just geeky to me. I don't like them.
For me personally, I have out of the many I deal with, I have a few that I like.
I'm sure you like
But
some
I'm
of
gonna
them.
tell you, for the most part, I look at them and I always have, because I've been approached on many occasions to move to the other side in terms of brand representation.
Of course, I'm sure you have.
Liquor reps, for these companies. But I look at a lot of them, I treat them the same way I treat a club promoter or a used car salesman. Because a majority of them, they just run the same.
No, you know why I'm laughing, Mike?
They just spew the same bullshit.
You know why I'm laughing? No, hold on. I'm laughing because I just had a vision of you doing like a liquor training. All right, listen. Yeah, listen. Sell this shit. My name is Mike. I'm out of here. You know what I mean?
But it's just I've always gravitated towards
liquor.
there's ones I have
Liquor.
good relationships with, but a lot of them, because you learn, it's like you burn me once, all right, cool. But then I keep allowing you to come in here, sell me your trash, and you don't come back, follow your word. Like my thing is the thing is, it's,
Yeah, you felt that?
yeah, because
Yeah.
he knows
He said,
he
follow
know,
the word. That's Miami, baby.
yeah, because the one thing is, don't make me take on your product. You're gonna promise me you're gonna come and do a buyback because I'm not gonna sell this shit. And then you don't show up, and I gotta call you 3-4 times to get you to come back and spend the money you initially said when you met me the first time. That's the stuff. I write you off and you're done.
Yeah.
Anytime you come back, I sell you the same bullshit you sold me, but I keep telling you, yeah, I got you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, next week, give me a call. Yeah, I got you. You never hear from
You
me
ever
again.
ignore? You ever like a liquor rep ever come in to say what's up to you, and you've asked like your bar staff to tell them they're not there?
I do it all the time. I've had somebody say, "Yeah, I'm here to see Mike, the
Really?
bar manager." I'm like, "Oh, he's upstairs in the meeting."
I'm in the back hiding.
Yeah,
Well, I
Yeah?
got shit to do, man. Don't show up. Don't just show up. Call. Ask.
Okay.
We're really laid back, but just don't show up.
I
Unless
get it.
I know
though.
you already. Unless
I
you
get
have
it, but like
yeah.
if you've developed a relationship with
Yeah.
that rep,
If you had that
and
relationship,
then they know.
and they've
though. Then
hooked
they
you
know.
up,
Well,
and they've
then
hooked you up.
but
You know
then
what I'm
they
saying?
They
but
know
they'll
to
hit you.
they
They'll
know to
text
hit
you.
you up
Yeah,
first.
they'll let you. Yo, I'm on the building, and you got a couple minutes.
So liquor rep show up unannounced, big no.
That's a big no.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Go ahead, eh?
So a quick question about sales reps. Why does a restaurant need to buy alcohol through a sales rep?
We get them
Because
through-
they buy us dinner. No, I'm just.
They might. though.
No, you get it. You have vendors, these conglomerates, if you will. You have like you have a bunch of very, very small, kind of select spirits, if you will. But the overall, the general bulk of the spirits are controlled by like 3 vendors. You have Southern Wine and Spirits, you have R&DC, and you have Breakthrough. Those are like the almost 95% of your product can be found through one of those 3 vendors.
Shout out Breakthrough.
I rock with Breakthrough too.
Yo, Breakthrough is I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I should say Breakthrough is the shit, yo.
Yeah, Southern is the
Hey,
biggest
y'all are
in
cool
our
too.
area. Yeah,
But shout out Dimitri. Nah, I'm just.
Dimitri,
I don't know what's
Dimitri,
going on.
good people.
That's the man. See, that's the
That's
man.
my guy. And
Oh, y'all both know Dimitri?
Well, yeah, he's you
Uh,
as a sales rep. That's it.
yeah, for sure,
He's-
for sure.
He's you
Dimitri's
as
a good
sales rep.
dude.
I could give a shout out
Look,
to
man,
Dimitri.
For real, it all comes down to money.
Yeah. Right.
To the poors.
And product.
To the poors.
It's taxes. The reason why we have to buy from vendors and we can't buy from
The store.
Jensen's in the stores
Liquor
or whatever
store,
the case
yeah.
may be, right? Is because Florida has a 3-tier tax system. The person who sells it initially, right? So let's say a name. Okay, we said Goose earlier, right? So Goose, right, has to pay the distributor. Distributor has to pay this guy, and we have to pay the distributor. So like that is a 3-tier system of taxes and money flowing through.
Yeah, make sure
Right, so all that stuff is
everybody's hands
controlled.
get greased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So buying it from a store would be just another tier of paying for
Well,
taxes.
buying it from a store is a no-no. We're legally not allowed to go and buy.
Yeah, we
from
cannot.
a store.
Yeah,
That's a big no-no. We have to go through.
So legally, you have to go through a vendor.
Yeah, and if you don't pay your bills, you can't buy from none of
Yeah.
them. Let's say a restaurant doesn't pay
bills.
the bills.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Right.
say a restaurant doesn't pay the bills, right? Then that's what ends up happening, right?
Right.
If a restaurant doesn't pay they have a late check or something just didn't come through at the same time or whatever, right? They have to report it, and now you can't buy from nobody.
Okay. Let's be hypothetical then.
And if you get
Extremely hypothetical. Of course, you two fine gentlemen in your reputable businesses with your strong scruples would never do this.
No, do what?
But let's just say through your experience, through the grapevine type shit, has there ever been a circumstance where, yo, we got to go get some shit, 911?
Absolutely.
I've seen it done before.
You've seen it done before.
I've seen it done before.
The liquor tastes the same.
From what
The
I'm
money might
told.
be a little different, though,
From what I'm told.
from what you're told. Obviously, you would never do that.
Who, me?
Oh no, but the thing is, there are options. Just because you're listed doesn't mean there are not legal, beautiful options for you to,
Right.
for you to partake in, if you will.
So these 3 major vendors are the ones that supply you with almost all the alcohol.
With almost all. I mean, one of them supplies me with about 70%, or about probably closer to 80, which is Southern.
Who do you-
And what about
Southern,
what
yeah,
about
single, man.
independent vendors? Like, let's say the representative of Remy Martin shows up to your door and says, "I want to sell you Remy Martin."
They can't.
They can't.
They can sell it to you, but it
educate
goes through R&DC.
So, yeah, so they educate
All these
us
brands
on it.
are under one of these houses.
Distributors, exactly. So
Because that's who distributes their product. They
each
don't
one of
do
the
it
brands and
individually.
sellers is under a specific distribution house, and that distribution house is allowed to sell this shit. So Remy's on one distribution house, but Henny's in another one.
So if
Exactly.
Remy wants your restaurant or your bar to sell their product, they can come in to your restaurant to convince you to buy it through one of those vendors.
And that's
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
But
what
that's,
they
that's
do.
the
Yeah,
idea.
that's
It's that
exactly
they
what
don't
they
come
do.
in to literally sell it to you. They come in to
No.
say, "Hey, you should buy our product through them."
And these are the reasons why they educate you on this.
Okay.
they come by and let you know about that.
Because I've seen representatives from all
petite
kinds of
champagne
brands, and I'm
grand
like,
champagne.
so I guess
Yeah.
you can't really sell it. So I guess they're selling you the idea
exactly.
of putting that product in there.
So what
because,
is it?
Go ahead.
They come in, okay. The lady from Remy comes in, does a tasting with you guys, and so on and so forth. And then I sit there and tell her, all right, cool, I'm gonna take on this new whatever cognac that you're carrying. I'm gonna take that on. So now my next order, they're distributed through RNDC. I put the product that she was giving to you guys, tasting, so on and so forth. And then that Friday, it's in house. So they're still representing the brand, but all they do is then we already know where to go. Like he knows where to go for. Okay, if Grey Goose comes into one of his establishments and says, "Look, we got this new flavor. We're gonna do this." All right, cool. He doesn't have to look for it. He knows. Okay, we did that. I'm gonna take on a case. Next time he goes into this Southern, adds a case of that.
And who decides the price? Because let's say again, let's talk on that Remy, for example. He says, "Yo, if you buy it, I'll give you this price." Can that person say that?
No,
and
very
then when
much
you buy
so.
it to the distributor, they'll say, "Hey, I spoke to them, and I said that instead of buying the case for X, they'll have the first couple of cases for X." Can they do that?
Yeah, like any business.
They have wiggle room.
They
for
have,
specific
they
things.
have, you work for retail, you work for restaurants, whatever business you work in, there's always some type of deals that can be made. And they do the same thing. Like, okay, even for us, our Louis the 13th, because we move so much of it, we get it at a discounted price.
Right. It just makes
Like,
sense. It's a win-win.
What I get it for,
So
you go right next door to another restaurant,
Thank you.
guarantee you that their price is not my price.
Okay.
No, I feel you.
and that's
Because
based
it's a
on-
win-win. Because Louis not stupid. Right?
Exactly.
They're like, they're moving this way more than anyone else in their area.
And same thing on.
Why
on-
shouldn't
and-
we
and
give them
same
a
thing
little?
on even?
But there's some people that don't though.
Yeah.
There's some people that are too cool at the moment, or
Who?
they're
What's an example?
or they're
Who?
just famous enough.
Who?
Right? You know,
Give me an example of
Give me an
somebody that
example?
has no wiggle room on their
has zero.
price.
There's
in particular,
just some people that sometimes I guess they're just so successful that they don't.
they
don't
say
have.
this is the take it or leave it type
yeah,
shit.
take it or leave it. And
And you tend to take it, though.
Unfortunately, you got to take that
Because a
shit,
lot of
man,
people
because
want it.
Want it.
Because people love additives, baby.
So, what advice would you give to a liquor rep to be more successful?
Keep your word.
Damn, that's 100%.
Right?
That's
for me, that's the
follow
biggest
through,
thing. Yeah, is to
follow
keep
through,
your
Miami.
word.
Just do the thing that you said you're gonna do.
100%.
I'll do my side. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll pick the
Literally,
things,
that's all you have to do for me.
Just show up.
For me to rock with you.
Restaurants or bars can't have all the brands in their establishment. It's impossible. There's
you
so
wanna-
many out
you
there.
wanna bet?
So you kind of have
There's too many.
to.
There's
So
too
you have
many
to
brands.
choose and
Way too
pick.
many.
Way too many.
So you have to choose and pick from many different things. Which ones popular? Which ones sell? Which one people want to culturally drink or not, etc. So you have to kind of make a gamble in what you want to have in your bar. And sometimes some of them even offer you deals like, hey, if you take my vodka and do cocktails with it, then I'll sell it for you for a certain price. So you have to you have to run a business. So you can have it all. So because of that and the popularity, would you say that most restaurants and bars always offer the same products?
Yes, 1,000,000,000%. Yeah. And you can also tell by their menus who's playing with them, who's supporting them. Of
course.
Right? We do our support in a different way, right? Our support is more like, hey, Herradura, Dimitri and his team are going to come by.
I like Dimitri, bro.
Yeah, I love that man. Right. Man. And they're going to come by and they're going to
You don't know
enjoy
Dimitri.
the Herradura, right? They're going to come by instead of like buying it back and it just like sitting on the shelves and shit like that. No, what they're going to do is they're going to come by and they support their product.
Yeah.
They come, they crack open bottles. They celebrate with other people that are around them and stuff, right? And they make a show
Yeah.
and really, really support this stuff. That's how we do it on our side.
Do you ever find it exhausting that people are like seemingly unwilling to live outside of their comfort zones and try interesting new shit?
All the time. All the time.
But that's typical though, because like I'll give you an example.
People like what they like.
I'm talking to I get that. But like I'm talking to somebody about beer, for example, and I said this on another audio episode only, where like you could talk to somebody about beer. You could be like, yo, I got this crazy lager, right? That's from like Spain, et cetera, et cetera. I got this Pilsner, blah, 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 blah. You could say 3-4 crazy stories about crazy beer origins. And the moment you mention Stella, someone's like, oh, I have a Stella.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. Dude, try something different. I don't even look at the name of the spirit anymore, like the producer, whatever it might be. I just see it says tequila because I'm almost upset because I know that's gonna say this tequila, that gin, this vodka. Dude, why is it so difficult for like the little craft, little like artisanal producers of spirits to break into places?
Oh God, that's easy because they taste crazy. That's one, right? Two, they don't got marketing dollars. It always comes down to money, man.
Yeah, of course.
Bro, I bet you if they had the
It's frustrating,
same
though.
bread,
It's heartbreaking,
It
though.
is. If they had the same bread that these people had,
It's
they'd
heartbreaking.
be brainwashed into thinking, "Oh, this shit must be really cool."
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely not, man. It's really difficult. I mean, that happens to us with tequila all the time. We
Yeah.
love tequila at our bar, and we
real.
got these dope skews. I mean, we have the Mijentas, the Fortalezas, the Don
Yeah.
Fulanos. Those things.
The fucking
hit,
Pie
man.
Negro,
Unfortunately,
the
it
Pata
is marketing what
Negra,
moves
the
any
fucking-
product because
No,
the only times
gluten-free,
that I see
gluten-free.
something new at
Imagine.
restaurants, it's when they have the backing of a celebrity. For example, that's why you see all these new tequilas in restaurants because everybody's like, "Oh, yo, you got the tequila from my favorite celebrity, this one," and you're like, and then eventually they bring it because
Or
they make
some-
a
yeah.
little business.
Or
you know.
some of this like crazy like left field, like outlier shit where it's like it's a cocktail bar that's like underwater. You got to take a submarine to get there type shit. And like the bartender lives there and he grows his own mushrooms and shit. Like
Seaweed.
then you see like crazy shit on a menu. But I mean,
that's true.
it doesn't have to be night and day.
It doesn't have to be.
Why can't it be where you have a popular mainstream restaurant that also has like, oh, like this is like little exotic shit on the side?
Because it's not making them money. At the end of the day, right? We all got to pay our bills. That stuff's not making them money. And I think that shit kind of happened to us.
Shit breaks my heart.
You know, where we were at, because that's what I did. When I first got to the place that I was at, right? Beer. Because you're talking about beer.
Right.
And I was a beer nerd. I came from like, yo, we had 24 beers on tap, 40 different SKUs and cans and bottles, right? So I came to this spot thinking, I'm going to change everything. I took Stella off.
Miami got you right though.
Yo.
Miami readjusted you.
I took Stella off the tap.
You lost tons
I got
of money.
Hate mail, baby. They were like, "How dare you?" I didn't know you were a Nazi sympathizer. I was like, "Yo, what are you talking about? This is crazy right now."
Right,
I didn't know
right,
you
right,
hated America. I was Stella's not even American.
Right,
What are you?
right,
What are you doing? Well, they're owned by Budweiser, so you hate Budweiser.
Right,
Yo,
right.
you're great. Yo, I've never been bullied like that in my entire
you got
life.
hate mail.
Stella came back like this. Yo, whatever. Hey,
Yeah.
let's go. And it sells, and it sells,
I-
and it sells.
I don't
and
like
still,
that,
And I still
though.
made room, but I still made room.
I hate that,
I still
man.
made room for the others because there's people
Right.
that are going to come in and explore.
Right,
But when we're
right.
busy on the weekends, people don't like to
Stella,
think.
Stella it out.
It's really tough when you're like 6 deep going,
Ones and ones.
Do you want this amazing IPA that was organically farm raised?
I've been,
and
yeah.
No,
I
you
get
can't.
it. I
You
get
can't.
it, of course.
At that time, it's
But
Stella,
it's
come
annoying,
in,
man.
come in.
I used to work at this burger spot that they made their own ketchup,
Oh, nice.
which was delicious. It was delicious.
stressful.
People used to bring in their own ketchup, man. They used to bring in their own Heinz.
What?
Yeah. Because like a repeat guest would be like, "Oh, I love your burgers, but don't put any ketchup on it." I'd be like, "Okay, fine. They don't like the ketchup." No. It's not that they didn't like the ketchup on the burger. They just didn't like the ketchup itself. So they would open the bun up and go, and with Heinz,
They
and
want
then
that.
close
They
it
want
back
those
up.
additives, baby.
Coño, man, live
Shout
outside
out Celebrity
of the box,
Tequila. They
man.
love those additives.
In fear type
Drown me
shit.
in additives, baby.
Well,
in
I guess
fear.
that takes care of cultural reasons.
That shit
But
pisses
let's
me
bring
off,
it
man.
into money.
Ooh, money.
Because I want to ask about the size of the pours and also your profit margin.
I like I see he's a great adapter. He's never said the word pores in a sentence like that his whole life. But now it's part of his vocabulary. Go ahead.
There
I'm
you
sorry.
go.
I love it. I love it. You act like it's not true. It's true. I've never
it's-
heard you say that.
You know, it's funny. You said, "Oh, that vendor is like him." I'm like, he must get no job done, or he must be hilarious. Anyway, now talking
okay
about
with that.
size of the pour and profit margins.
okay with that, Jack.
Because
I'm
I
okay
used
with
to work in Vegas.
Okay.
And in Vegas, they pour it out. They don't care. It's just for them. It doesn't really matter. If you go to a bartender in Vegas and say, "Yo, pour me a drink," they'll hit you up, and obviously you have to tip them. But here, you say that, and it'll still be like, jigger, 2 ounce, or you know how to count it because you've been doing it for you know how to count.
Pours are
Boom,
faster.
that's it.
3 pours are faster.
First off, why is that? Based off the obvious answer. And second, let's talk about a little bit about profit margin. So why do we here in Miami count our ounces or pour and not just serve?
Well, because these owners love pinching every single number. Regardless at what place you work at, they're looking, they don't understand that liquid is really tough to maintain. Even something has a faulty pour spout, right? If you think about it, over 600 transactions and you're losing a quarter ounce at a time, right?
It adds up.
That's a ridiculous amount of alcohol you're losing, but you're stealing that,
Right.
right? You know, that shit is on you. So that's why it's basically so people can keep their jobs, but it also gives a not just accountability, it keeps consistency. Consistency, because let's be honest, even though I may portray them as a bad guy, they have to know what it is that they're going to spend later on too, right? So if it's like 2 ounces for you, 3 ounces for you, 5 ounces for you, 2 ounces for you, and there's no consistency, it's tough for them to do things like forecast and, you know, and budget the correct way for their business.
Let's jump into the second question with you. What is the profit margin of a pour? Because again, let's say a 750 milliliter bottle.
Okay,
that costs you $20.
Okay,
and then you're selling it for.
Okay, a 750 milliliter bottle is gonna get you like 25 ounces, and then a standard pour would be 1.5 ounces for a mixed drink or you know, single spirit with a mixer. A neat pour is gonna be 2 ounces. A martini should be 3 ounces. So you take all that in consideration. On my, you know, bottles of that nature, like basically with the higher end, the higher up you go with the actual spirit and the cost of it, your profit margin will decrease. You know, like the Louis and the Louis and the Macallan 25, like those are our smallest profits of.
How much you paying for a bottle of Macallan 25?
The 25? What
I
am
don't
I
even
getting?
know. That's how much
Over,
I know,
over
18.
it's over $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think it's a little bit more. It's right around the same price as what I pay for the Louis. But
Right.
it's like you where you make your money. You make your money on the Grey Goose, the Kettle One, the
Tito's.
yeah, the luxury spirits. But that's where because we try to. I always try to put it above, you know, above a 80, between 83 and 87%. For me, that's where my numbers look good. Like right now, I'm running a course at like, I think I'm around 14%, which is extremely good considering, you know, what we do, our clientele and our friends and family and relationships and so on and so forth. But the thing that's taken me to that point, because I'm not gonna lie, we have this auditing system that comes in every week, so I really have to stay on top of everything. You know, I never jiggered in my life, until this company came into play.
Company came by, yeah.
Because I started looking at, you know, because at the end of the day, they look at me, and our liquor cost was at like a 25-26%, which is high,
right,
extremely high. And now we're at, you know, we're running at like a 14. We stay between, you know, 14 and 16.
right. So for people who don't understand what that means to have a 25 to 15 to 14% liquor cost, what does that mean?
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
No, like, thank you so much. I get that, but what's the gist of that? Explain that in simple terms to people.
What? Here, I'll do some quick math.
Go ahead.
I'll do some quick math for you, right?
Go ahead.
Take it away, Will.
There's this app called Pour Costs. Anybody, it's free. Anybody could use it. It's real simple.
POOR or
POUR?
Okay, just making
No,
sure.
not the pours. Not the
Thank
pours
you.
cost.
Yeah, because Miami don't like the pours.
Just making sure.
Those are my that's
I'm just making sure because we got a
that's
theme running in this episode.
TurboTax is the other one.
TurboTax. I got
So,
that.
but you put in your product size, right? So, for example, cool, I put in a liter. Product cost. So this bottle cost me $25. This elite vodka that shall not be named because I get that pricing, right? But it's a dope vodka for $25. No, not Stoli Elite. That's crazy. That's like a $6 bottle.
Be like the
but we get crazy, you know, discounts and stuff on those every once in a while
shit
too.
you move a lot of too.
Right? So let's say the product cost is $25. Our pour size, we all said an ounce and a half.
Right.
A liter's gonna give you just about 33 ounces,
Yeah.
right?
A liter. and stuff
That
like that,
cost per
24.
pour is $1.11.
Okay.
Is $1.11 at a 12% cost, right? But that's not what we charge. In most places, we charge what? What do you guys charge for a vodka soda? $12? But starting, not plus tax, but whatever. Just on the thing.
Subtotal.
18.
Subtotal.
Oh,
Like 18, 19.
Subtotal? Probably like 30, like
Y'all said
$35.
18? Oh my God, hey guys, we gotta change the prices.
Yeah, just basically.
Running a business here,
Bro, you gotta run it.
No, you're right.
We gotta keep the doors open, baby. The lights gotta
so
stay
if
on.
you're charging the cost.
There's a lot of lights in our
the cost
restaurant.
still hasn't changed. The cost is still $111, right? But it's
Right.
You're charging $17.76, and your cost is $111. Think about it. I mean, look at that margin. You just about paid. As soon as you pour two of these, you pay for the bottle.
pay for the bottle.
You
Yeah.
pay for the bottle.
Right.
Correct, but then again, you know, we spoke about overhead
and all that stuff.
You know, we're paying for
but
that's
not what the
we're paying
layman
for
person
all that
says.
stuff. But yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the layman doesn't. That's the point. The layman
That's
doesn't
the point.
know.
The layman doesn't understand
You
that
don't
portion.
understand.
All the layman
you know,
does is
They
complain.
see a $25 bottle
They
and they
complain
go,
about the price of the cocktail at the restaurant.
You know the
And at the end
amount
of the
of
day, you shouldn't be out. You should have stayed home and complained to your fucking TV.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Exactly, because you know how many people it takes to run a restaurant that has only 100 seats, that's open for only dinner. I have no idea all the people that are working there, and depending on the quality of the products that they have there and the environment that they're putting there for you, it's a fucking army. You know, it can be 100 people just for that 100 those 100 seats. Someone has to pay for that. That comes from you. Because we're running a business here.
I mean, yeah, you can
and
be
remember,
at home, yeah.
In the end, and you think, oh, it's still so expensive. The only amount of money that the owners are making after they pay everybody just to keep the doors open, it's 10 to sometimes 15%.
and that's high.
And
That's high. I
Thank
thought it
you.
was
That's
7 to 10.
optimistic.
I thought it was
That's-
7
that's
for a
optimistic.
restaurant. That's
so
optimistic. I
if
thought it was
you like
7
that
to
bar,
10%.
you say, oh, that's my place, that's my jam, that's my restaurant, that's my bar. Then support it.
Pay for the drinks, man.
Exactly.
Or get your bottle of Grey Goose
How do you
and
think they pay
cry
for the
by
DJ?
yourself at
Now,
home.
I want to ask, is this something that
my
might
point.
affect the price of liquor? Because something that a lot of people don't know is that after 2020, COVID, it was really hard to get a lot of alcohol in. Like,
What?
like
Where?
the alcohol production took a halt in a lot of places. And it was harder to get alcohol.
It's hard to get product. It was hard to get products from France, like champagne and cognacs, and then certain scotches, and then tequilas because they didn't have the workers.
We couldn't get
Exactly.
glass
Because they didn't have the bottles too. They didn't have enough bottles.
We couldn't get glass of Azul for weeks.
But not because of COVID, and not because of.
Well, it wasn't. Oh, thank you. Please.
Not just because of COVID, not because of like what's that shit called, the supply chain issues nonsense. No,
Yeah.
no, because we were drinking like animals who have never drank that much in our lives. These guys were breaking sales records left and right.
That
on
does
the
make a lot of
non-restaurant
sense.
side, right?
Yeah.
Off premise.
Yeah.
These guys they didn't know what to do with their money.
Think about it.
They were
The whole world.
screwed-
If the whole world's tucked away for a year,
Bro, they were
Yeah.
Scrooge
They're drinking a lot of
McDucks
booze.
with
Think
their
about-
money
yeah.
with all the money that they made.
you know
With
what?
those
That's a
stimulus checks,
fucking
bro?
great point.
But the point to that is that there was a time that it was hard to get certain tequilas into your restaurant.
Very much so.
Like,
They-
you couldn't get them.
But because they were out.
Exactly.
Not because of COVID, because so many people were drinking at
Correct.
the same time.
I remember we had a
You-
high-end
because the
tequila.
agave, like there's a process
Right.
for the
100%.
grow, and then it got sped up.
We had a high-end tequila readily available that we charged $50 a shot for example.
Beautiful.
When we finally got it back in,
We charged them, what, 105?
The tiny amount of bottles inventory that we could get into the restaurant, we doubled the price. That was the time of year
you.
when I would tell a dude when a
shit.
dude would tell me, "Yo, let me get 6 shots. Let me get 6 shots of let me get 6 shots of that." And I would have to go into
me
his
get
ear.
6 shots
Then
of
I
that
would have to
blue
go
water.
into his ear and be like,
That's
"Yo,
$600.
we do that for 100 a shot now." Which is something that, if you read the table right, you're like, don't really have to do. If they order something that's expensive, you're like, you look at a watch, you're like, all right, this dude's got it. She's got it. It's no problem.
Most of the clientele
But
is there officially.
in this
Oh,
case,
in Miami, those are
in this
fake
case-
watches, baby.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Sold
But
on Instagram.
It was like the meme
Right?
where you say that into the ear and the hairs get up. It's like, yo, that's like $100 a shot now.
Yeah, dude. I remember I'd be like, yo, Papi,
You get them chills.
just not to make him look bad. I'd be like, yo, Papi, that's 100 a shot now. And then seamlessly, I have to even give credit to the dude. Seamlessly, he turned to me and be like, "Now let me get 6 shots of something else over there," because it was absurd. It was absurd. I remember we might have gotten small bottles in, but we probably made less money when we finally got it in. We thought we probably were going to cover the difference by doubling the price, but we barely moved it because it was just absurd.
Yeah.
No, I
It was
remember
absurd.
I did that. I made the mistake one time. Your buddy ordered it, and I'm saying, yo, yep, this is what you get, and this is what you're gonna pay. So the check came, and I called that the wow check. I gave him the check. He went, wow, like what the fuck? And then he even said, he's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, excuse me, and he's like, how was this there? I said, and then I went on to explain to him what it was. He's like, fuck that, I don't want this shit. And I was like, I'm sorry, sir. And then I did it, but then going forward, what you did, but I don't have the luxury of like leaning. I'm not a tall individual, so I can't lean
It's
over.
a tall bar, 6 feet.
So I just try to play it very, very
top
careful.
shelf,
I
AJ.
try to throw a
That's top
little charisma on him, like, just so you know, given the allocation and
Given the conditions.
yeah, given the conditions and the allocation for this product right now, we're having a very hard time getting in, so we have up the price because it is more expensive for us. And then I tell him, and then he's like, if he's like, oh, how much is it? I tell him, he sold. All right, let's go. If not, he's like, nah, I'll wait till it comes back down.
Nice.
But it was because I remember I got hit with 6 of those.
It was
that I
a
had
weird
to-
time.
So
It was a weird
It is
time.
safe to say that the economic conditions of where you live might affect the price of the alcohol. You know, the fact that there's not that many of them, or that everybody wants it, it might affect the price that you're paying for that liquor.
You know, I think I
You'd be
don't.
surprised.
Yeah, I don't.
You'd be surprised because people will be at that Bad Bunny spot, right? There'll be a spot that apparently Bad Bunny's part of, right? There's a spot over there somewhere.
Yeah, spot somewhere, yeah.
And they'll be spending, and no shade. They're spending what they're spending over there.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't be one of the poorest to be hanging out in there. You could work there as one of the poorest, but you sure as shit can't enjoy there as one of the poorest. You come back to another local bar,
The real side
and
of the
they'll
world?
bitch, and no, within the same area, within the same
I
couple
know,
of
I
blocks, right?
That's a good point.
And then they'll bitch. Hey,
Yeah.
how come this shit is $25?
That's a good point.
Hold on, didn't you just come from the reggaeton spot? Yeah, it's 30 now.
That's a good point.
It's
It
crazy.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
But it's a point because the area that you're in
It's an
dri-
affluent area. It's a dope
exactly,
area, yeah.
because if the bar next door is selling that for X amount of money, you will either match that if the vibe that you offer is similar to. Because otherwise, that's how the competition works.
But
if
no,
you
but
want to
even-
draw more
but-
people to your place, then you might want to, get it for a couple bucks cheaper, so you do drive more revenue
That's
to
how I
the
used to
place.
do my
But
Airbnb.
we
It-
try
it
to
is
do
business.
That's how I used to do my
fair
Airbnbs.
prices. We try to make sure everybody could come in and enjoy their life, regardless of what station in your life you're in.
But at the same time, Will, like I know, you paid the same amount for that fucking bottle that buddy over on the other side paid for that bottle too, for the most part.
Right, so
Hey,
at
that's
the
a good
reggaeton
point.
spot, at the reggaeton
You know what I mean?
spot,
Yeah,
but
that's
they don't
what I'm-
charge
that's-
differently than at the
but
local
that-
spot, do they? The vendor doesn't charge differently at
No, the
reggaeton-
vendor
at the
won't.
big
No,
spot.
that-
they charge
that's-
the same.
yeah.
Unless they
same.
had some sort of deal, which we spoke before.
Unless-
but,
unless
in
he's
general, it's-
moving
but-
that
they
much.
move it and they have that deal.
But in general, because most people get the same QDs, right? Quantity deals.
Yeah.
Right? Most people, so unless you're getting
Like if you
specific-
could take that on and move it, you'll get the same deal.
I'll get the same deal. So let's say we both got the same deal, right? I'll still lowball. I still would rather somebody come in and have 2 or 3 of them. And they have different costs though.
Yeah, very
So
much
I
so.
can't compare myself to the restaurant. That's one of the other things, right?
Because they have so many
You shouldn't
different-
know
yeah.
person that's bitching across from you. You shouldn't know that shit, right? But I know that it's a different thing because they got to deal with hosts. They got to deal with servers. They got to deal with paying their kitchen. They got food costs. They got bread
Yeah,
costs.
yeah,
they got
yeah.
tablecloths
I don't like
and
the
shit.
way you said servers there, bro. What's your problem?
Have you never worked a bar with servers?
So, Adrian, what else you got?
So I want to move into storage as well, because everything that you buy in bulk, right? But you don't have it all sitting at your bar. You have to store it
wish.
somewhere, and that's another thing that you actually have to pay for.
Yeah, for some
And
spots.
would you say that
some
that
places
actually
do.
affects the price as well? Because some of you might. Do you have like a back room where you store your stuff, or do you maybe have to have an actual storage where you have
Back
to
room's about the
transport
size of
it?
this couch. Buying
liquor.
storage, which was a cost for
Yeah.
us, right? Helped us save costs because then we were able to do things like in quantity deals,
Right.
right?
Yeah, you could take on
which
more.
helps out because they charge you if you want it just like by the bottle, right?
If you break the case,
If you break the case.
you break the case, you pay.
Right?
Exactly, you pay a lot more. For
You end
this.
up paying a lot more if you break
So
the
that
case.
bottle is now slightly more expensive because they're like, oh, I have to. Well, some worker somewhere has to open a case,
Yeah,
take the bottle out
They
of the
charge
case,
you- they charge
and
you for
it. So
breaking
they're
cases.
charging you for that labor,
they charge you at least a couple dollars on a bottle.
right? $1 something
And now think about that. Think about you do 10 of those
over the course of the year,
a week,
right?
over a month. It's that shit adds up.
After 52 weeks, you're paying, a couple grand in. So if you
in
learn how to
breakage.
use your deals the right way, you can help save yourself in the long run.
Because you could take on that 10 case deal.
Do you two still actively bartend at your places?
I do.
I don't like personal questions.
Personally, do you bartend? You still
I
fucking-
like what? Like once a
still
month, maybe. Like once a month, I go back
Right?
there and I get in everybody's way, and I'm like, let me show you how they used to do it back in my days.
Oh yeah, Chico, when I was bartending.
Yeah. This generation doesn't know anything about work. Get out of
So,
here. Hey, how do
basically,
you use the
you've-
computer?
You've taken yourself out of the bartending.
Let them make the money, man. My side is already has enough stress without me having to be in their way, right? And messing up their their entire flow. I have extremely talented, fast
I'm
people.
about to say that what that says to me is that you're comfortable with your team.
You ever miss it?
Do I, all the time, unfortunately,
I get it.
all the time. Why? Because they get to be away from all people. and I have to now be in the shit with everybody, with all the regular humans.
They've got that shield.
They have that shield, that bar that's protecting them from you, and they get to play around back there and be as happy as possible. And I gotta like deal with
Damage
how
control.
come they charge me this much for gluten-free vodka? I'm like, yeah, por favor. Why is the bathroom line so long? I was like, because people.
A lot of people people are drinking. They got to piss, bro.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know?
I have to go grab some guy from peeing in the garbage can.
That's how it
This
is.
town is nuts, bro.
And it's
Now I
always
want to
the
bring it
biz.
into something very interesting: cocktails, because cocktails is also a place where restaurants make a hell of a lot of revenue, and in it, it's obviously so many ingredients, not just the spirit itself, which we spoke about the pour, but all those ingredients as well. And a thing that people don't get is that not every place where you go to they use those packaged syrups or those juices that you buy at any particular store.
ingredients.
A lot of places do fresh ingredients, and that takes time.
Yeah.
You have either a prep guy or you have a bar bag that's constantly making those fresh juices for you to then have a sip of it and complain that it doesn't taste like Heinz ketchup. But these are all things that affect the pricing, right? So what would be the difference? No, give us maybe some insight as to what's the difference between buying let's say what's the cranberry, the ocean spray
Spray.
cranberry,
Spray.
which is what almost every bar would use that doesn't make their own, versus or an orange juice, which is I guess Tropicana or anything like that, or Florida Natural, just to keep it here,
Right.
and then versus you making some French oranges. Like, what would be the difference in price in there?
A ton difference in
Yeah?
price, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even
Fresh produce is a lot
It's not
more.
even close, man. I mean, hell, you have to add labor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a case has like 200 limes, and you have one guy cutting the lime in half.
And you might get what,
Squeeze
a
it
couple,
up.
maybe 2 gallons.
Yeah, you might get yeah, exactly, man. You got like 8 quarts total, right? Off all that stuff, just so you can have like fresh, made from the hard ingredients type shit.
Is
right?
it
Like,
worth
we
it?
care.
Is it worth it?
I'll tell you, for my
As a
venue,
consumer,
for my
is it
venue,
really worth
it's-
it?
For my venue, it's not.
Is it really worth it in the grand scheme of things?
I think it tastes better.
I think
Remember,
I think
yes.
it tastes better.
Like
And-
a place
and-
like Broken Shaker and those type of. I just feel
Yeah.
like I feel as though there's an establishment, an element for that,
There's a vibe for that.
and then but the expectations are there.
If you go in
Yeah.
like in the
every
Serene,
time,
like I said.
every time I used to go to Broken Shaker or one of those mixology bars,
Right.
those are my expectations, and I'm never let down because they really do take their time and they do
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah,
I
but that's
just know-
also why their cocktails cost what they cost.
I was in
course.
in
But you'd be
Tokyo,
surprised, but you'd be
and it
surprised.
took my bartender 15 minutes to make me a cocktail. Like he shook it, he sang to it, he
Now
prayed.
imagine
to
me
it.
Oh, but
trying.
that's
Imagine me
patience,
trying to do
baby.
that.
That's why. That's part of the
Fucking-
show. That's
That's
what
what
they do
I
out there.
mean,
That's
yeah.
the culture. of it.
Okay,
but
but in
you-
the grand
you-
scheme of things, do or die, a business model. You need to make money, but also offer guests quality products. Is it worth it to
What kind of venue?
to
See,
be
what kind
that,
of venue?
Be that bartender. No, but just in general.
A restaurant.
Okay, what kind of restaurant? Our restaurant moves very differently than most restaurants.
I get it.
In my,
But I mean,
in
what do
my
you
world,
prefer?
I could never do that
Let's
shit.
say you're making a brand new restaurant. Let's say Italian because it's common. Let's say just make an Italian restaurant. You
Okay,
wanna
give me-
you want to have a
but
bar.
you gotta give me more.
Do you want to?
Do you give a shit?
Should you
though?
go and do?
I care if it
like
tastes good.
fresh
And
ingredients.
not just you. I'm talking about like the person.
You're talking about this
person
this
that's running it.
hypothetical person.
Yeah, this hypothetical. Do they actually give a shit about those ingredients? Unfortunately, for my spot, we play with the devil, right? With all the cool brands and all the popular brands, but we give a shit about the stuff that also tastes good. So that's why we fresh press our juices and do all that stuff, because we just think that little bit, right? Even though you may not think that we're like the mixology bar and shit, I think it makes a difference. Then we'll go to these mixology bars and find out that they're getting their juices
guys-
from jugs.
you guys
that they're getting their
surprise
juices
people.
from jugs and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Even if they're high quality jugs.
Even though they're high quality jugs, right? They're not going through that.
Yeah.
So it just all depends on, and I don't think they're wrong for that. I think they're wrong for maybe being like, oh, we do everything.
look-
we do everything fresh.
So look, this is the thing. I love that there's different options. I love that you can go to a place that's all about making 1-in-1s, and occasionally somebody orders a drink that isn't a 1-in-1, so they'll have to use Kennesaw or whatever the fuck they're using. And I also love that you could go get on the submarine and the bartender grows his own mushrooms and he doesn't use deodorant and he's bartending barefoot and it's disgusting and his bar is super busy. It's got shrubs everywhere and it's dark and shit. I like that too.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you, what do you prefer?
I like something in the middle for me.
Something
I
in the middle.
agree.
I like
I
something in the
agree.
middle, right?
I agree.
There's some things that I give a shit about. So the quality ingredients is something I care about. Now growing my ingredients and shit like that, That's we don't got time for
That's
that.
too
We got
far
time to
for
make
me,
money.
yeah.
We got time to make money, but we got time to squeeze some oranges and squeeze some limes.
right.
Now this question
because
will-
the spirits all speak for themselves.
Okay. Now this question would be for any guest, any customer that goes into a restaurant and says, "What juices here are fresh?"
Yo, I
On
just-
average, which ones are?
I think
At most places,
On most places. On
orange
average.
juice, lemon juice,
None.
lime juice.
Well, you mean freshly
anything.
squeezed?
Like freshly squeezed.
If anything, is gonna be orange, lime, and lemon.
at the most.
At the
Yeah,
most.
that's what I mean. At
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most.
yeah, right. But I think most places don't do that.
They don't.
Don't
Correct.
squeeze your shit. Don't do whatever. Right. Again, they.
But to be fair, it's
it's all
because
expired.
of the storage. It's, storing those things, those shelf life. It's not
also
the same.
time.
It doesn't. it
Storage,
doesn't
yeah, shelf life, but also think
cost.
about a bar back who can't get out of first gear. And then
Okay.
and then now you have to ask him.
No shout outs in particular. Go ahead.
Right,
No, I'm
right,
speaking
right.
in general. I'm speaking in general.
Yeah.
Or am I?
Generally, specifically.
Nah. But no, you honestly speaking, think about that. Think about a bar back, does their job already the way they do, or
Stuck in the mud.
stuck in the mud with cement shoes, and then now you're supposed to do you're supposed to
Freshly
you're
squeezed
You're
citrus.
supposed to sit there for 2 hours and press fucking.
Honestly,
Lemons
it's
and
tough.
lemons.
I used to work at a
Good luck.
restaurant that wanted to switch their whole cocktail menu and made everything almost like fresh and pre-made and stuff. And they posted a to hire someone to do that. So just to come in a couple of hours early and prep everything.
How long did that person last?
And didn't work. It didn't work. No one would come in to do that one position.
Yeah, I tried to hire like
And
5
you're-
people with that.
And you're creating a job at that time too.
Yeah,
You're creating
but-
opportunity, but people are like,
And
People like,
you could
fuck,
come
I
in
don't
and
wanna
do
be
that
picking-
and then
I
work
don't wanna be
somewhere else.
picking
But
fruits.
it
I don't wanna be
wasn't. It
cutting
wasn't.
fruits.
cutting
juice
grass
all
and shit. What
day.
people doing?
I guess the reality that I want the people that are listening to understand is that it's very rare for you to go to a restaurant or a traditional establishment and expect to have any of those juices to be fresh. If you go to a cocktail bar, you might be able to get some of those for a price because I guess you can understand now how hard it is for us to even just man that position.
I think that should be the standard though, right? Like I'm not
It'd be
gonna buy.
awesome if
I'm
you
not
were.
gonna buy full price a pleather Louis wallet, right? No, I want real cow. I want that motherfucker to suffer. I want my LV print on it. I want it to be real, genuine leather, right? So when I go in and I have a daiquiri, you better not be putting
Roses.
or whatever thing that is
Shout out
that's
to roses.
that's acid adjusted or some shit like that for me to be like, what's this chalky shit that I'm drinking?
Yeah, a little citric
Right?
acid.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a blender at your bar?
I don't hate my people.
Do you have a blender where you work?
Fuck no.
Thank you.
I got a frozen drink machine. It's easier. Oh,
Oh no.
Ooh,
Frozen
no.
drinks. I'm not. I'm gonna tell you when people order. When people order Long Island iced teas, it infuriates me.
Why?
I used to. I feel him. That
Why? What is it about the Long Island iced tea you don't like?
that you're 12.
I just don't think at the restaurant that we work at that anybody should be ordering.
Ask
a
for
Long Island iced
ID
tea.
Well,
immediately. when
going
they ask
into
for
the
Long Island.
stereotypes that he spoke about in the beginning, when someone asked me for Long Island iced tea, I think that you're just trying to get drunk cheap.
That's exactly
because
what you're
usually
doing.
it's just a mixture of all these
That's
liquors
what
that
it is.
have no issue of being together.
They have
just
no
for you to
reason.
get drunk
Yeah, that have no reason to
to be mixed up together like that.
Yo,
quite-
whoever created a Long Island iced tea, I don't know the history of it. They either did it when they were like 11, or they're like a sadist.
I feel like somebody raided their mother or father's liquor cabinet, and there was a little bit of gin, a little bit of vodka, a little bit of rum, and they were like,
flat
"Fuck it,"
Coca-Cola.
and just threw it all in the
in there.
same. They just threw it all in the same.
My brother, there are places that even actually mix those with darker liquors as well. Like not just those, they'll add whiskey in there too, and you're like,
just
"What the
doesn't
hell are
make
you
sense.
doing?"
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
those
make
people
sense.
mixed up. Yeah, I've been in bars. You like, you're supposed to just do the lighter spirits, and they just mix
I
the
think
other ones.
my
They don't
whole
care.
take on it, if you're out of college,
Those are college students.
if you are
absolutely.
out of college, you should no longer ever order Long Island iced tea.
So you're saying that there is a time when someone should grow out of a cocktail trend.
I think a Long Island iced tea because I vividly remember when I was in college, there was this one bar that they used to sell like $5 Long Islands on Thursdays.
That sounds like trouble.
So $20, I'd be fucking flatlined.
Of course.
But then you wake up the next day with the most dreadful headache because it's all shit, bottom of the well, spirit. So it's like, damn. And
It's
then you
hard,
recover
man.
by the time next Thursday comes around, you're ready to go again.
It's
But
hard for me. It's like I said at the beginning of the show, right? If
Can't
you
do it.
want to pay for it, and it makes you happy,
I got you.
do it.
Let's go.
But it's still hard for me not to at least. The only difference between me then, like when I first started serving, and now, in terms of like drink
I
taboo,
just can't respect you right off rip. No, but even if you don't talk to me, that's what you said to me. I
the
look
only
at you in a
difference
very
is
different
like
light.
it's like when people order steaks, right? If someone like something cute people always like to say is like, "Oh, I'm gonna order this." Don't make fun of me, but I want my steak well done.
I say, hey, why don't I
say
take
it
off
to
my leather
people.
shoe and you chew on this?
I say it to people. I go, "We're not gonna make fun of you. We'll make fun of you in the back." You know what I mean? That's what I say. I literally say that verbatim to people. So when someone orders a Long Island iced tea, or you got a 6'5" brolic dude who orders a strawberry lemon drop,
That's if you're a lychee.
yo,
go,
I
baby.
mean, if you like it,
Is it fresh
probably
strawberries?
drink it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna charge you for it on the check. I always like to say, you ordered a steak well done, you order a steak medium rare.
No, I don't-
On the check, it's the same price.
I don't mind that.
But it's hard. It's like an instinct at this point. Like I'm not like a little kid anymore. I'm not gonna make fun of you. You like
dare
it, order it.
I had a pumpkin spice
But, yo.
espresso martini the other day, baby.
How could
But let me
sleep?
ask you a
How
question,
you
Will.
sleep
Let
that
me ask
night?
you a question,
It was
Will.
delicious.
I bet it was.
And they made it with fresh pumpkin
I
syrup.
bet it was.
Amazing, but let me ask
Do you
you a
like
question.
lemonade?
The what?
Do you like lemonade? Fresh lemonade?
Fresh lemonade is delicious.
Put some vodka in there. Put some little strawberry.
I don't mind
That
this
sounds
certain things.
delicious to me.
Okay, but
I've never in my life.
porch
Have you ever
pounder, baby.
ordered an espresso martini or a lemon drop
and then drink it with a straw.
at a restaurant? At a restaurant as an adult.
And then
Have you ever
drink it
ordered
with a
that?
straw. That's what I was going, Will.
Have I ever as an adult? No.
As an adult,
And
have
then
you
drink it
ever
with a
ordered
straw.
it?
You know how many when I make a martini and I give it to usually a woman for the most part, and then can I get a straw?
Yeah. I love that. I love it.
I'm like, why don't I just put it in a sippy cup for you?
Yeah. Or you know what I like? I like when a dude says, "Oh, let me get a strawberry, extra sweet, sugar rimmed lemon drop." But yo, put it on the rocks for me. I'm like, yo, you're still a pansy,
I
dude.
say, yeah,
like,
you just don't want
you're
people
still
knowing
a
you're soft.
pansy.
Like-
Like, if you're gonna do it,
That's what I say.
be proud of it.
No, be
man.
proud of it.
Be proud of it.
Get that fucking
just don't
martini
use a straw.
cup.
Be
Don't
proud
use
of
a
it.
straw.
And lick the sugar
I
too,
have
like
more
a man.
respect for somebody
the
who
entire
orders that
time.
drink
Lick
on
that
the
rim.
and they order it on the rocks.
You know,
I
I
think
got
that's
No
what a
respect for
fool.
anybody who drinks it with a straw, though. That's
Who are
my
you trying
biggest
to
fucking
fool?
thing.
I've got it on the other side. Sometimes people are too afraid to ask for what they really want,
Yeah.
so they'll ask for like partially of what they want. What I mean is that they'll say, "Oh, I'm."
Or they let their girl
I'll
order
do
for
a,
them.
I'll do a lemon drop, and I'll be like, "You want some strawberry on that?" And be like, "Yeah."
Hey, that's
I
there
know,
you go.
you want
Hey,
it.
there you
That's
go.
what you
You
wanted
gotta
from the
fill in the
start.
blank.
That's a
You
good.
gotta
That's
fill
a
in the
good.
blank.
You still you want that? And I was
Hey,
like,
that's
yeah.
a safe space.
Yeah.
This man created a safe space. That's
Yeah.
what we need in 2023.
Exactly.
More lemon drop brolic dudes.
Or like this dude who was like, yo, let me see the cocktail menu. And as part of making guests feel comfortable with my ability to talk to them about our menu and just cocktails in general, I'll be like, talk to me. What do you like? I'll recommend something for you. I'll point you in the right direction. You're not going to bring me a cocktail list? I was like, all right, I'll bring a cocktail list. I wrote him a cocktail list. He was like, let me get an amaretto sour. I'm like, what fucking planet are you on? Like, how does that link? How does
Did
that
you
coincide?
expect to see that on the menu?
How does
Nah.
that coincide? I don't get it.
But going back into what you mentioned, which is another thing that might add influence the cost of the alcohol, it's where it's placed, where it's presented, right? The glass that it's put on, because sometimes we have all these very expensive, glassware, or the tiki glass that you have. That does influence the cost, right? Because anything in the end, anything that the restaurant or the bar has to purchase or pay to create an experience for you will influence the cost of what you're paying for.
Of course, but for the majority of those aesthetics are very minimal because you think about it, like Will broke down the actual cost of what it is and what we pay. There's such a drastic, like, $1 or $2 here and there is not going to really tip the scale. But from certain things, okay, like when we do the dome, when we have to get those certain glasses for certain drinks that we have and so on and so forth, like those things will have to, because every time we have to order that, that's coming out of our budget. So it's got to be made up on the cost of the cocktail.
Yeah, because you have to do these meetings with the owners of the establishment and say, okay, I have this idea for a cocktail.
Of course.
And it's going to have A, B, C. It's going to be presented on this glass. It's going to have this garnish. Overall, making that cocktail cost us X amount of money.
Right.
And then that's when they'll be like, and how much you want to sell it for? Well, we want to sell it for this. And then based on that percentage, they'll be like, nah, it's not going to happen. Like, it needs to make more money. So you need to either make it more
Cost effective. You
more
gotta cost
cost
it out.
effective,
All that stuff you
or
gotta
you have
present.
to
Or take away
sell it for
yeah.
more, or put an ingredient there that's gonna what's the word? Allow itself to be more expensive. Like it's gonna yeah. That wasn't the word I was looking for, but that's fine.
Optimize.
No, it wasn't that one.
Maximize.
He
No.
said no.
Minimize.
No, it's not. It's kind of like
Conceptualize.
justify.
Justify.
It's the
Way
ingredient
off.
that's
You were
going to
there.
justify
I was
the cost
way
of
off.
that. Thank you. Yeah, because what are some ingredients that justify a very expensive cost on a drink? What is something that if you put there and you charge $40 for that drink, people will be like, yeah, I get it.
I mean, and
You charge $40. I don't know. What are these people doing?
say,
Golden
yeah, if
flakes?
you're gonna do something,
Truffles?
yes. If you do something with gold,
I hate that. I don't know. Did they take like a ton of time trying to, I don't know, clarify the
Yeah, well, like by clarification.
something,
What
like,
about
I don't know if- I was
smoking?
like, but when you say like 40
What about
bucks,
presentation?
It must be at the end of the day, it must be how expensive the main spirit is.
yeah, the spirit.
Right, if you're getting like a
itself
$40
the driving
vodka
factor.
cocktail, no.
What about the
not doing
presentation? What
that.
if it comes in smoke?
Well,
what
yeah,
if
maybe.
what if inside of it is a particular, maybe like a pop, or like a lollipop or something that's just part of it? Those things would
if it comes with a-
justify.
Would justify adding
You being
to
like,
the,
okay,
to the
yeah.
the
What if
to-
it
to
comes
the
with a
cover
fucking
cocktail.
TV? What if you order a cocktail and it comes with a little fucking TV? Huh? How about that?
Well,
Well,
there's
for
a,
me to
well,
watch?
there's a particular
Or to
restaurant
take
here.
home, because there's a big difference.
take
there,
home
babe.
with you.
Well, oh, like $40, baby. Let's
Not
go. I got a
naming,
free
there's a
TV.
particular restaurant
40
here in
bucks.
Miami Beach that every time you
steal.
order a cocktail, it comes with like its own, I would say like this size presentation. It's a box. They open it up. It has some contraptions in there. One of them has like one of those the disco balls in there. Like
Instagrammable
some places go
cocktails.
like all out on the presentation of their cocktails, and the cocktail itself might not necessarily be that good, but they go all out on the presentation.
People eat with their eyes.
And
the moment
that-
they
and
see
that
that, they're
does-
like, this is the best cocktail I've ever
And,
had.
and they're not
That's
cheap at all.
stupid.
And it's-
Those
and
drinks are
it's-
like
and it's a
30,
lemon
40
drop.
bucks a piece.
That's stupid. Like, okay, you want to charge somebody $40 for a cocktail. I get it. You're using this obscure thing, but justify it at the end of the day with the flavor of the cocktail, with the quality of the cocktail, right? Your work for that one cocktail, for the shrub you put in there is like 10 hours. You got to milk, fat, clarify something, 10 hours, whatever. Make it so that in that one glass is concentrated a ton of effort and quality. So your $40, the person who actually knows about the cocktail goes,
my thing is
Coño.
don't dress it up if you're not gonna deliver. Like, give me. I'd rather drink something out of a fucking coffee mug.
I feel
that
that way
tastes
about
good.
cakes now. You ever seen like cakes nowadays? Cakes are getting elaborate. The fondant
They look
is
like
all,
apartments.
is perfect. But yo, at the end of the day, what does the cake taste like? What does the cake taste like? Because when I was a kid growing up in Washington Heights, we used to go to an apartment building, get Dominican cakes. They were
Dominican cakes
terrible
on
looking,
point. Yeah.
but fucking delicious.
Dominicans are great. Yeah, you guys are good with cakes and hair, huh? Cakes, hair, and
Oh,
the-
baseball.
Kicking
Baseball.
air.
I don't know.
baseball.
Coño,
Baseball
papi.
too.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasó?
So
And
I want to
la
leave it
manteca.
with a question for you. Do you think that it is justifiable for a restaurant or bar to have such expensive prices? Let us know in the comments below. And if so, give us your rebuttal. But gentlemen, I want to get back to one last question. What advice would you want to give anyone that's starting a new bar or a new restaurant into how to better create something unique or justifiable for their cocktail or bar program?
I think, I mean, for me, it's easy. It's just know your location, know your clientele, and I think you gotta put a piece of yourself in whatever it is you're doing. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, fads come, trends come, things come in and out. But I mean, if you who you say you are, and you are who you are supposed to be to everybody, including yourself, there's stability in being who you are. And I think that being authentic is always going to put a stamp in the cement that can't be taken out of.
Thank you, Mike. Will?
And I say, build people. Build people.
I thought you said bill people.
I thought it said
yeah,
Bill,
that's-
yeah.
that's-
I was like, damn.
I hate
Yeah,
the
not
pores.
pores.
But I was the pores, but I was the pores, baby. I still am the pores.
Yeah.
Right? But fact of the matter
Reform.
is, build people. Don't just hire people. Hire people with goals. Hire people that want to accomplish something, and build these people up. I think what a lot of motherfuckers are doing, man, is they think that their team is dispensable. They're not. Bro, these people are indispensable because you're gonna have to hire somebody to replace them, sure, and retrain them and redo the thing again. Sure, man, show these people respect. You've chosen them, and that's what a lot of these, I think, owners and people don't understand. You've chosen these people to take care of your shit or your money while you're not around. Why aren't you taking the time to build these people up and put them in better positions you know, and help them grow. So if you're just opening up a spot to open up a spot and not building your area and your people, you're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing. So find people, take the time to do that interview process with these people, and, you know, ask them what their goals are and see how you can help them build, because they're helping build your shit. You want them to take your cocktail seriously, and or your idea, your atmosphere, your theme, whatever. They want to take your concept seriously. Take their shit seriously too, because these people are taking. Cool, you're paying for their time. They're taking time they'll never get back, right? So help them build. They'll help you build them harder.
Word.
I've said everything I have to say, man.
Well,
Good talk.
like we said before, I hope that you understand by this that there's a lot more than meets the eye when it comes to the price of your cocktail. And remember, if you don't like it, you can always not go. And that's our show. Will, Mike, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing out some love.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for listening.
Don't forget the tip.
And we look forward to hosting you again real soon.
Take care, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.